Imagine staring down the field, knowing that no matter how explosive the wide receiver is, there's one man ready to erase him from the game. These aren't just cornerbacks, they're game changers, disruptors, the ultimate defenders who have rewritten the rules of what it means to dominate on defense. From legendary interceptions to jaw-dropping tackles, these athletes didn't just play the game, they controlled it. Today, we're diving into the top 10 most legendary cornerbacks of all time, players who didn't just defend, they dominated. From Darrelle Revis' iconic Revis Island to Deion Sanders' electrifying returns, these are the defenders who made quarterbacks think twice before throwing in their direction. But what do you think? Do you agree with our list? Let us know in the comments as we continue showcasing moments of pure greatness, where every interception was a game-changing highlight and every tackle was a statement. This is where legends live. When you talk about modern cornerbacks, the first name that often comes to mind is Darrelle Revis. Known for his iconic Revis Island, Revis was not just a cornerback, he was a no-fly zone for wide receivers. His presence on the field meant that the most dangerous offensive threats would often be neutralized, isolated on his personal island, far from the ball and the end zone. Revis' brilliance shone brightest during his 2009 season, a year still remembered as one of the best by any cornerback in NFL history. That year, he faced some of the top-tier wide receivers, players like Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, and Chad Ochocinco, and shut them down almost entirely. Week after week, quarterbacks found themselves hesitating before throwing in his direction. His ability to read the quarterback, anticipate plays, and blanket receivers was uncanny, leading to a career-high 6 interceptions in that year alone. But it was not just interceptions that made Revis feared. His strength was in his coverage, so tight, so disciplined that quarterbacks simply stopped throwing his way. This skill, combined with his football intelligence and physical dominance, made him a nightmare for opposing offenses. He was not just defending passes, he was erasing the receiver from the game plan entirely. As Revis' career progressed, he did not just rely on his physical gifts, he evolved, adding a mental edge to his game. His meticulous study of film, coupled with an intense work ethic, ensured that even as his speed declined with age, his impact on the field never diminished. Whether it was his time with the New York Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or his memorable Super Bowl winning stint with the New England Patriots, Revis consistently proved himself to be a game-changer. One of the defining moments of his career came during Super Bowl 49, where, as a member of the New England Patriots, Revis played a key role in securing a victory over the Seattle Seahawks. His ability to cover Seattle's top receivers allowed New England to focus on other aspects of the game, and his presence on the field was a constant reminder to Russell Wilson and company that throwing deep was risky business. Revis' legacy as a lockdown corner has set a standard in the NFL. His unique combination of physicality, intelligence, and pure coverage ability redefined what it means to play the cornerback position. For a period, Revis Island was the most feared place in the league, a place where wide receivers went to disappear. If you're enjoying the list so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content on the legends of the game. Let's continue diving into the top cornerbacks of all time. If there's one word that defines Mel Blount, it's dominance. Standing at 6 feet 3 inches and weighing over 200 pounds, Blount was a physically imposing figure at cornerback, something rarely seen in the NFL during the 70s. But his size was only part of the equation. Blount's combination of raw strength, speed, and football instincts made him the ultimate enforcer on the field. He was not just a great cornerback, he redefined the position. Blount's physical style of play was a cornerstone of the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary steel curtain defense, which terrorized offenses throughout the 70s. With Blount as a key piece of that defensive unit, the Steelers secured 4 Super Bowl championships: Super Bowls 9, 10, 13, and 14. His ability to shut down the opposition's best wide receivers allowed the rest of the defense to thrive, knowing Blount would handle his one-on-one matchups with ease. One of the most defining aspects of Blount's game was how he played at the line of scrimmage. Wide receivers found themselves manhandled by his aggressive bump and run technique, where Blount used his size and strength to jam them right as the play began, completely disrupting their timing. Quarterbacks would often look elsewhere on the field, knowing their primary target was locked in a physical battle with Blount. But what made him even more dangerous was his speed. For a man his size, Blount moved with surprising agility and pace, able to run stride for stride with smaller, quicker receivers downfield. His aggressive style of play was so effective that it forced the NFL to change its rules. After years of watching Blount dominate opposing receivers with his physicality, the league introduced the Mel Blount rule in 1978, which restricted defenders from making contact with receivers beyond 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. This rule, designed specifically to curb Blount's dominance, is a testament to how much he impacted the game. Despite the rule change, Blount remained an elite defender, proving that his game was not just about overpowering receivers but also about intelligence, technique, and adaptability. Blount's contributions were never more evident than in the Steelers' Super Bowl winning seasons. He played with a ferocity that struck fear into opposing offenses, and his performances in the playoffs were consistently elite. In the 1975 season, Blount was named the Defensive Player of the Year, the first and only cornerback to receive the honor at the time. That season, Blount recorded 11 interceptions, demonstrating that he was not only a physical force but also a ball hawk capable of making game-changing plays. In Super Bowl X, Blount's role was pivotal as the Steelers faced the high-powered Dallas Cowboys. Blount's physical style neutralized Drew Pearson, one of the Cowboys' top receivers, allowing Pittsburgh's defense to focus on other areas of the game. His presence on the field gave the Steelers a psychological edge. Offenses knew they were going up against a man who could completely disrupt their rhythm. Mel Blount's legacy is more than just his numbers and accolades, it's in how the game evolved because of him. Very few players have had such an impact that the league changes its rules to level the playing field. The Mel Blount rule may have limited his physical style, but it cemented his place in history. Blount remains a symbol of an era when cornerbacks could impose their will on receivers in a way that today's game no longer allows. Even with the rule changes, Blount continued to dominate well into the 80s. His ability to adapt to the new regulations showed his versatility as a player, and his career ended with a remarkable 57 interceptions, placing him among the all-time leaders. Blount was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1989, a fitting honor for a player who not only excelled at his position but also left a permanent mark on the game. Champ Bailey's career was a masterclass in consistency, excellence, and longevity. For over a decade, Bailey was the standard-bearer at the cornerback position, a player whose combination of speed, intelligence, and technical skill made him a nightmare for quarterbacks and wide receivers alike. From his early days with the Washington football team to his legendary tenure with the Denver Broncos, Bailey's presence on the field commanded respect. What set Bailey apart from so many others was his ability to adapt to any situation. Whether he was covering big-bodied receivers, shifty slot receivers, or the fastest deep threats, Bailey's technique and football IQ allowed him to lock down virtually any opponent. His understanding of the game was almost second to none. He could read a quarterback's eyes, anticipate routes, and make split-second adjustments that kept him in perfect position to either knock down passes or come away with interceptions. One of the greatest highlights of Bailey's career came in the 2006 season, which remains one of the best individual seasons ever seen from a cornerback. That year, Bailey intercepted 10 passes, an astonishing number for any player, let alone one who quarterbacks actively avoided. It wasn't just the quantity of interceptions, but also the timing and impact of these plays. Bailey seemed to make his biggest plays in the most crucial moments, turning games around with a single, game-changing pick. His ability to cover the entire field was unrivaled. With Bailey in the secondary, opposing offenses were forced to drastically alter their game plans. It became a common sight to see quarterbacks hesitate before throwing in his direction if they dared to at all. Even with the game on the line, Bailey rarely gave up big plays, and his tackling ability was as solid as his coverage. Whether it was one-on-one situations or team defensive schemes, Bailey had the versatility to fit any role. Bailey's playoff performances were equally as iconic, but perhaps none more memorable than the 2005 AFC Divisional Playoff game against the New England Patriots. In one of the most critical moments of the game, with the Patriots threatening to score, Bailey made a jaw-dropping 90-yard interception return, shifting the momentum entirely in the Broncos' favor. Although he didn't score, his play was instrumental in sealing the victory, as the Broncos advanced to the AFC Championship game. Throughout his career, Bailey was known for his durability. Even as the years went on, and as younger, faster receivers entered the league, Bailey maintained his elite status. His dedication to preparation, both mentally and physically, allowed him to sustain a high level of play well into his 30s, a rarity for cornerbacks, who typically see a decline in speed as they age. This consistency is what earned him 12 Pro Bowl selections, the most ever for a cornerback, and 3 first-team All-Pro honors. Bailey's leadership on and off the field was another vital component of his legacy. He wasn't just a cornerstone for the Broncos defense, he was a mentor to younger players and a respected figure in the locker room. His quiet confidence and professionalism made him a role model for teammates, coaches, and even opponents. Bailey's name became synonymous with the art of the shutdown corner. His presence alone was enough to change the course of a game. When Bailey's time in the NFL came to an end, he retired with 52 career interceptions and a reputation as one of the greatest defensive players in the history of the league. His ability to dominate for such an extended period, combined with his impact on the game during both the regular season and playoffs, solidified his place among the all-time greats. In 2019, Bailey received the highest individual honor when he was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, a well-deserved recognition for a player who epitomized excellence throughout his career. Champ Bailey's name is often mentioned alongside the best cornerbacks ever, not only for his extraordinary stats but also for his consistency and durability. He was the ultimate competitor, the player quarterbacks feared the most, and someone who left an undeniable legacy on the game of football. Versatility is often talked about in football, but few players embodied it as fully as Mike Haynes. One of the most well-rounded cornerbacks in NFL history, Haynes could dominate in any defensive scheme, whether it was press coverage or off coverage. His unique combination of speed, intelligence, and technique made him a nightmare for wide receivers and a gift for defensive coordinators looking for a player who could adapt to any situation. His career began with the New England Patriots, where he made an immediate impact by earning Defensive Rookie of the Year honors in 1976. That season, Haynes recorded 8 interceptions, proving that his instincts and awareness were elite from the start. Haynes' versatility was key to his success. In press coverage, he could physically jam receivers at the line and stay with them downfield, while in off coverage, his vision and ability to read plays gave him an edge, allowing him to make timely interceptions. His fluid movements and quick direction changes meant he could cover a wide range of receivers, no matter their style. But Haynes didn't just shine in the regular season. In Super Bowl XVIII, playing for the Los Angeles Raiders, Haynes played a pivotal role in the 38-9 victory over the Washington Redskins. His ability to neutralize Washington's top receivers, combined with the shutdown play of fellow cornerback Lester Hayes, made the difference in the game, securing the Raiders' victory. Beyond his Super Bowl triumph, Haynes consistently delivered elite performances against some of the best receivers in NFL history, including legends like Lynn Swann and Steve Largent. His matchups were more than just physical battles, they were mental chess matches, where Haynes often came out on top thanks to his intelligence and ability to anticipate routes. His 58 career interceptions were not just the product of athleticism, but of careful preparation and film study. He had the rare ability to both play tight man-to-man coverage and excel in zone schemes, which made him invaluable to any defense he played on. Throughout his 14-year career, Haynes was selected to 9 Pro Bowls and named first-team All-Pro twice, a testament to his consistent excellence. His impact on the game transcended his individual accomplishments, influencing how future generations of cornerbacks approached the position. When Haynes was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1997, it was not just recognition of his individual success but of the lasting influence he had on the cornerback position. Mike Haynes redefined what it meant to be a cornerback, and his legacy continues to inspire new generations of defensive backs today. Willie Brown's name is etched in NFL history not only for his remarkable talent but also for his pioneering influence on the cornerback position. In an era when the cornerback role was still evolving, Brown emerged as one of the first true ball hawks, mastering the art of reading quarterbacks and turning defense into offense. His ability to anticipate plays and make game-changing interceptions set the standard for generations to come. Brown was not just a defender, he was a playmaker, someone who could seize momentum with a single turnover. And there's one play in particular that encapsulates his greatness, his legendary interception in Super Bowl XI. That moment came during a matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. The Raiders were in control, but it was Brown's incredible 75-yard interception return for a touchdown that put the game beyond doubt, sealing a 32-14 victory and delivering Oakland their first Super Bowl championship. Brown's ability to read Vikings quarterback Fran Tarkenton's pass and return it with grace and speed made for one of the most iconic plays in Super Bowl history. As he sprinted down the field, raising the ball high in celebration, Brown cemented his legacy in the annals of NFL greatness. But Brown's Super Bowl XI heroics were just one chapter in an illustrious career. Throughout the 1970s, he was a cornerstone of the Raiders' defense, helping the team establish itself as one of the most formidable forces in the league. Brown's leadership in the secondary was invaluable, as he guided the Raiders to 3 AFL championships and later, multiple deep playoff runs in the NFL. His blend of physicality, football intelligence, and quick instincts allowed him to match up with the best wide receivers of his era, whether in man-to-man coverage or in zone schemes. Brown's ability to create turnovers was unmatched during his prime. His 54 career interceptions are a testament to his ball-hawking skills, but it was what he did after those interceptions that set him apart. His vision and speed allowed him to turn picks into points, and he consistently gave his offense great field position, if not scoring touchdowns himself. In addition to his Super Bowl XI interception, Brown returned multiple picks for touchdowns throughout his career, adding to his reputation as one of the most dangerous players with the ball in his hands. Brown's influence extended beyond just his on-field performance. As one of the first African-American cornerbacks to dominate at such a high level, he broke barriers in a position that had traditionally been dominated by white players. His success opened doors for future generations of players and helped redefine what teams looked for in their defensive backs. Brown's work ethic, leadership, and ability to perform under pressure made him a role model for young players, particularly those aspiring to play in the secondary. The numbers alone, 54 interceptions, 4 Pro Bowl selections, and multiple All-Pro honors, don't fully capture the magnitude of Brown's impact on the game. His style of play, marked by aggression at the line of scrimmage and the ability to track the ball in the air, became the blueprint for future cornerbacks. Brown's ability to seamlessly transition from covering receivers to becoming a ball carrier after an interception redefined the position's role, elevating it from simply preventing receptions to actively creating scoring opportunities. When Brown retired after a remarkable 16-year career, he left behind a legacy of innovation and excellence. His influence on the cornerback position is still felt today, as modern NFL cornerbacks continue to emulate his aggressive style, ball-hawking instincts, and ability to make game-changing plays. Willie Brown was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1984, an honor that not only recognized his personal achievements but also his transformative role in shaping the way the cornerback position is played. Willie Brown was more than just a great cornerback, he was a pioneer, a player whose impact on the game transcended his statistics. His playmaking ability, leadership, and trailblazing presence in the secondary have ensured that his name will forever be synonymous with greatness in the NFL. Charles Woodson's career was nothing short of extraordinary. Known for his unmatched versatility, Woodson is one of the few players in NFL history to master 2 positions while thriving at both. He began his career as a cornerback, quickly establishing himself as one of the league's premier defenders, only to later reinvent himself as a safety, continuing to make game-changing plays well into the twilight of his career. His ability to adapt, excel, and dominate across multiple positions and eras made him a once-in-a-generation player. Woodson's talent was clear from the very start. In 1998, after a stellar career at the University of Michigan where he became the rare defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy, Woodson was drafted by the Oakland Raiders. His transition to the NFL was seamless, earning him Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. With his combination of speed, physicality, and football intelligence, Woodson quickly became a lockdown corner, feared by quarterbacks and wide receivers alike. His knack for reading offenses and disrupting plays made him a cornerstone of the Raiders' defense. After 8 years in Oakland, Woodson moved to the Green Bay Packers in 2006, where he would redefine his legacy. Still performing at an elite level as a cornerback, Woodson eventually transitioned to safety, where his football IQ and instincts made him even more dangerous. As a safety, he became a playmaker across the entire field, blitzing quarterbacks, stopping the run, and snatching interceptions with ease. Woodson's transition allowed him to extend his career and continue his dominance in new ways, proving he was more than just a great cornerback. Woodson's 2009 season remains one of the defining moments of his career. At 33 years old, an age when most players begin to decline, Woodson delivered one of the greatest defensive seasons in NFL history, earning Defensive Player of the Year honors. That year, he recorded 9 interceptions, forced 4 fumbles, and scored 3 defensive touchdowns. His ability to remain dominant after over a decade in the league was a testament to his work ethic, adaptability, and unparalleled football intelligence. One of the crowning achievements of Woodson's career came in Super Bowl 45. Though he suffered a broken collarbone during the game, his leadership throughout the season helped lead the Packers to a championship. Woodson's defensive prowess and ability to guide his team were crucial in their Super Bowl run, and even though he couldn't finish the game, his presence on the sideline, motivating his teammates, was a defining moment of his leadership and heart. Throughout his 18-year career, Woodson amassed impressive stats: 65 interceptions, 13 defensive touchdowns, and 20 forced fumbles. He earned 9 Pro Bowl selections and was named first-team All-Pro 4 times, solidifying his status as one of the greatest defensive players of all time. His longevity and ability to switch positions mid-career, while continuing to perform at an elite level, are part of what make his career so remarkable. But beyond the numbers, Woodson redefined what it means to be a defensive player. His ability to transition from cornerback to safety and excel at both showed the importance of versatility in the modern NFL. Woodson's career is an inspiring blueprint for future generations of defensive backs, showing that adaptability and football intelligence are just as important as raw talent. When Charles Woodson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2021, it was the culmination of a career that left an indelible mark on the NFL. From his days as a shutdown corner to his later years as a ball-hawking safety, Woodson's ability to evolve and remain at the top of his game made him one of the most remarkable players in football history. His legacy will forever be one of leadership, versatility, and greatness. Aeneas Williams may not have always been in the spotlight, but he was one of the most consistent and impactful cornerbacks of his generation. Often considered underappreciated, Williams built a reputation as a ball hawk with a knack for delivering in critical moments. His ability to make game-changing plays in high-pressure situations earned him immense respect from both his peers and coaches. Williams wasn't the loudest player on the field, but when his team needed him most, he always seemed to be in the right place at the right time, ready to shift the momentum. Williams began his NFL career with the Arizona Cardinals in 1991, a franchise that was not known for success during his tenure. Despite playing for a team that struggled, Williams stood out as a defensive leader, consistently shutting down top receivers and creating turnovers. Over the course of his career, he earned 55 interceptions, returning 9 of them for touchdowns. His instincts, combined with his ability to read opposing quarterbacks, made him a nightmare for offenses. He had the rare gift of always being where the ball was, and his quiet leadership helped elevate an otherwise overlooked defense. One of Williams' defining characteristics was his ability to deliver in key moments, and nowhere was this more evident than in 2001, when he joined the St. Louis Rams. In that season's NFC Championship game, with the Rams facing the high-powered offense of the Philadelphia Eagles, Williams made one of the most memorable plays of his career. He intercepted Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb and returned the ball 47 yards for a touchdown, swinging the momentum in favor of the Rams and helping them secure a trip to Super Bowl 36. Williams' play was a turning point, illustrating his uncanny ability to rise to the occasion when the stakes were highest. Despite being overshadowed by some of the more high-profile players of his era, Williams' versatility and football intelligence made him a cornerstone of the Rams' defense. He was not just a cover corner but also a physical presence in the secondary, able to play the run effectively and deliver hard hits. His leadership, both vocal and by example, helped stabilize the Rams' defense during their Super Bowl run, and while the Rams ultimately fell to the New England Patriots, Williams' contributions were undeniable. He was the type of player who could be counted on in every facet of the game, whether it was making tackles, defending passes, or creating turnovers. Throughout his career, Williams demonstrated an incredible ability to adapt and remain effective. As he transitioned from cornerback to safety later in his career, much like Charles Woodson, Williams continued to be a disruptive force. He may not have had the same flash as other cornerbacks, but his consistency and dependability made him one of the most respected players in the league. Over 16 seasons, Williams earned 8 Pro Bowl selections and was named a first-team All-Pro 3 times, accomplishments that speak to the level of excellence he maintained throughout his career. Beyond the statistics, Williams' legacy is that of a quiet leader, someone who always put his team first and never sought the limelight. He wasn't vocal off the field, but his actions spoke volumes. His ability to make the right play at the right time, particularly in playoff situations, cemented his status as one of the greatest cornerbacks in NFL history. His knack for turning critical interceptions into points set him apart from others and highlighted his keen football instincts. Williams was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2014, a well-deserved recognition for a player who spent his career defying the odds and proving his greatness. Though he may have flown under the radar compared to more celebrated names, Aeneas Williams' impact on the game was immense. His presence in the secondary was invaluable, and his ability to rise to the occasion in the most crucial moments makes him one of the most remarkable players in NFL history. Aeneas Williams may have been quiet, but his legacy speaks volumes. Darrell Green is often remembered as the fastest man to ever play in the NFL, but his legacy extends far beyond his legendary speed. Over an incredible career that spanned nearly 20 years, Green became a cornerstone of the Washington Redskins defense and one of the most respected cornerbacks in league history. What set Green apart was not just his remarkable athleticism, but his football intelligence, consistency, and ability to adapt to the evolving game. Drafted by the Redskins in 1983, Green immediately made an impact as both a cornerback and a kick returner. His elite speed allowed him to match up against the fastest wide receivers in the league, and his technique and instincts ensured that he could cover anyone, no matter their size or skill set. One of the most iconic moments of Green's career came early, during a game against the Dallas Cowboys. In what has since become a legendary play, Green chased down the lightning-fast Tony Dorsett from behind, preventing what seemed like a sure touchdown. That play cemented his reputation as the fastest man in football and demonstrated his relentless pursuit on defense. Green's career longevity is nothing short of astounding. While many players' speed and agility decline with age, Green continued to perform at an elite level into his 40s. His ability to keep up with receivers half his age, even in the later stages of his career, speaks volumes about his dedication to physical conditioning and his understanding of the game. His speed may have been his calling card, but it was his football intelligence that allowed him to maintain his dominance for 2 decades. He did not just rely on his quickness, he studied his opponents, learned their tendencies, and always seemed to be in the right place at the right time. Green was a critical part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams for the Redskins. His leadership in the secondary and his ability to lock down receivers were key to Washington's defensive success in both Super Bowl 22 and Super Bowl 26. In those championship games, Green's experience and poise helped the Redskins' defense stand firm against high-powered offenses. His presence on the field gave Washington a huge advantage, as opposing quarterbacks had to think twice before challenging him. Over his 19-year career, Green accumulated 54 interceptions, often turning them into momentum-shifting plays. But his contributions went beyond statistics. He was a model of consistency, earning 7 Pro Bowl selections and being named to the NFL's All-Decade Team of the 1990s. His leadership, both on and off the field, helped guide younger players, and he set a standard for professionalism and sportsmanship. In addition to his defensive prowess, Green remained a threat on special teams throughout much of his career. His ability to return kicks and punts with game-breaking speed added another dimension to his game. Even as he aged, Green's explosiveness never waned, and he continued to contribute in meaningful ways, well into his 40s. Darryl Green's legacy is a testament to the power of speed, intelligence, and preparation in professional football. He proved that, with the right combination of athleticism and knowledge, a cornerback could sustain success for nearly 2 decades, a rare feat in a league known for short careers. His induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2008 was the culmination of a career that defined excellence and longevity. Green showed that being fast is just the beginning. Combining speed with wisdom and adaptability is what truly makes a player legendary. Rod Woodson is universally regarded as one of the most complete and versatile defensive backs in NFL history. His career spanned an incredible 17 seasons, during which he excelled at both cornerback and safety, leaving a lasting mark on the game. Woodson wasn't just great at one position, he was dominant at both, and his rare combination of speed, physicality, football intelligence, and adaptability made him a nightmare for offenses and an invaluable asset to every team he played for. Woodson began his career in 1987 when he was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It did not take long for him to establish himself as one of the premier defenders in the league. By 1993, Woodson reached the pinnacle of individual defensive success by winning the Defensive Player of the Year award. That season, he recorded 8 interceptions, returning 2 of them for touchdowns, and consistently showed his ability to read quarterbacks, jump routes, and turn defense into offense. His speed was one of his most dangerous tools, allowing him to cover the fastest wide receivers in the league and close gaps in coverage with ease. However, it was not just his physical gifts that made Woodson great. He was also one of the smartest players on the field, with an exceptional ability to anticipate plays and position himself perfectly. This led to many of his 71 career interceptions, tying him for 3rd all-time in NFL history. What truly set Woodson apart was what he did after those interceptions. His 12 interception returns for touchdowns remain an NFL record, highlighting his ability to make game-changing plays once the ball was in his hands. Woodson's resilience and toughness were tested in 1995, when he suffered a severe knee injury in the opening game of the season. Many thought his career might be over, but Woodson shocked the football world by returning later that same season to play in Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys. His ability to recover from such a devastating injury and contribute in a championship game was a testament to his determination, work ethic, and mental toughness. Later in his career, Woodson transitioned to safety, a move that allowed him to continue to dominate while extending his career. His time with the Baltimore Ravens and Oakland Raiders showcased his incredible versatility. As a safety, Woodson's experience and football intelligence allowed him to direct the secondary like a coach on the field. He was a key figure in the Ravens' legendary defense during their Super Bowl 35 victory, providing leadership and playmaking ability in one of the most dominant defenses the league has ever seen. His ability to move between cornerback and safety seamlessly is a testament to his understanding of the game and his adaptability. Throughout his career, Woodson earned 11 Pro Bowl selections and was named first-team All-Pro 6 times, accolades that underline his excellence at both positions. His career numbers 71 interceptions, 20 defensive touchdowns, including fumble recoveries and returns, and a multitude of forced turnovers speak to his lasting impact on the game. But beyond the statistics, it was his leadership and his consistent presence in high-pressure moments that defined his greatness. Younger players looked up to him for his professionalism, and his work ethic set a standard for everyone around him. Rod Woodson was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2009, a fitting recognition for one of the greatest defenders the NFL has ever seen. His versatility, ability to make game-changing plays, and leadership qualities place him among the legends of the game. Woodson demonstrated that success in the NFL is not just about raw talent but also about intelligence, resilience, and adaptability. His legacy as one of the most complete defensive players of all time is secure, and his influence on the game will continue to inspire future generations of defensive backs. When it comes to cornerbacks, one name consistently rises to the top of every conversation. He was a player whose very presence on the field could make quarterbacks second-guess themselves. A man who didn't just shut down wide receivers, he erased them from the game plan entirely. His speed was unmatched, his flair was unforgettable, and his ability to turn defense into offense made him a one-man highlight reel. Known for his iconic celebrations and larger-than-life persona, this cornerback was a true game-changer, capable of swinging momentum with a single play. His reputation? Legendary. His influence? Undeniable. For those who played against him, he was simply known as Prime Time. Prime Time wasn't just a cornerback, he was a phenomenon, redefining what it meant to be a superstar in the NFL. His speed was almost mythical, and his ability to make spectacular plays became the stuff of legend. Quarterbacks knew that throwing in his direction was a gamble, a risk they rarely took. And if they dared, the consequences were often game-changing because Prime Time had an uncanny knack for turning interceptions into touchdowns. He could blanket the league's fastest wide receivers, anticipate passes, and once he got his hands on the ball, he was as dangerous as any offensive player on the field. There was simply no one like him. Yes, the man behind the primetime persona is none other than Deion Sanders. Sanders wasn't just a shutdown corner, he was an electrifying force of nature. From his early days with the Atlanta Falcons, where he first captivated the NFL with his unmatched speed and swagger, Sanders dominated on both defense and special teams. His rare combination of talent, confidence, and charisma set him apart from everyone else in the league. Sanders' ability to return interceptions for touchdowns, 9 in total, tying him for second all-time in NFL history, made him a threat every time he touched the ball. It wasn't just about stopping receivers. For Sanders, it was about making the play that would turn the game on its head. One of the most defining aspects of Sanders' career was his impact in the postseason. Known for stepping up when it mattered most, Sanders played pivotal roles in winning 2 Super Bowls, one with the San Francisco 49ers in 1994 and another with the Dallas Cowboys in 1995. In the 1994 season, Sanders was named NFL Defensive Player of the Year, recording 6 interceptions and returning 3 for touchdowns, showcasing his unparalleled ability to flip the script on any game. His Super Bowl success with both teams cemented his legacy as a player who not only dominated individually but also elevated the teams around him to championship glory. But what truly set Sanders apart, beyond the numbers and accolades, was his charisma. Deion embraced his nickname Prime Time and used it to build a persona that transcended football. His famous high-step touchdown celebration became an iconic image, symbolizing both his love for the game and his flair for the dramatic. Sanders understood the entertainment side of football better than anyone else, but make no mistake, beneath the flash and pizzazz was a competitor who worked tirelessly to be the best. He redefined what it meant to be an NFL star, showing that one could be both talented and showman, a lockdown corner and a larger-than-life personality. Deion Sanders' induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2011 was the culmination of a career that changed the cornerback position forever. His speed, intelligence, and playmaking ability transformed how defenses operated and forced offenses to rethink their strategies. Sanders wasn't just the greatest cornerback of all time, he was a game-changer who blurred the lines between defense and offense, and, perhaps more than anything, he brought a new level of excitement to the sport. Primetime didn't just play football, he performed it. Now that we've revealed the 10 greatest cornerbacks of all time, the real question is, do you agree? Does your personal list match ours, or did we leave someone out who deserves a spot? We want to hear from you. Tell us in the comments if you think this list truly represents the best to ever play the game, or if there's a cornerback you believe belongs in the conversation. And if you're passionate about football greatness, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a chance to weigh in on future debates. Each of these legends left a lasting impact, shaping the way the cornerback position is played and remembered.